Have you ever been in a group where they all decided to agree on something, like watching a movie or even trying a new restaurant, but you just weren't on board? Instead of speaking up, you just go along with it. You tell yourself, it's fine, it's not that big of a deal. But later, you're frustrated at yourself, not because of the movies or for the food, but because you suppress your own opinions just to avoid standing out. It's such a small moment, yet it highlights a large pattern in all of our lives. How often we push aside our values just to fit in. Today, I want to talk about the importance of standing firm in your beliefs, even when it's easier to follow the crowd. Why is this important? Because every voice matters, including yours. When we constantly conform, we often miss opportunities to embrace our unique perspectives, to bring up points and ideas that people haven't even thought of before. True progress, whether personal or societal, comes from those who dare to think differently. So by doing so, you not only live a life more true to yourself, but you also inspire others to do the same. In this speech, I'll be exploring three key ideas: the power of individual thought, the importance of recognizing your values, and the risks of blindly following the crowd. Together, we'll uncover what it means to have the courage to stand alone. So let's dive in. The greatest ideas and movements in history were inspired by people who dared to think differently. Take Martin Luther King Jr., for example, who had the courage to dream of equality in a world steeped in injustice. He faced violent oppression from segregationists, the police, and even the government, yet he continued to preach nonviolence and unity, proving that his dream of equality was worth the struggle. Or even Rosa Parks, where she refused to give up her bus seat, standing firm against a society that deemed she was less than equal. She was arrested, she lost her job, and she even received multiple death threats, and yet she still stands as a symbol of resistance, inspiring the Montgomery bus boycott and proving that even one act of defiance can inspire a movement. Even Galileo, who challenged the theory that Earth was the center of the universe, risked everything to stand by the truth that he discovered. He was put on house arrest for the rest of his life. He was condemned by the Catholic Church, and he was forced to recant his heliocentric theory. And yet he never stopped advocating for the scientific truth, laying the modern groundwork for astronomy today. These individuals show us that progress comes from those who dare to think differently. Your unique perspective could be the key to change in society, but only if you have the courage to stand by it. But what happens when we don't? What happens when we just follow the crowd? Blind conformity, or conforming to the majority, might seem like the safer option, but that's not always the case. A couple of years ago, there was a trend going on called the Tide Pod Challenge, where many people would eat, chew, and eventually gag on those little detergent pods, daring others to do the same. Many teenagers risk their lives just to gain social media attention, rarely questioning its consequences. On a larger note, history gives us more tragic examples, like the Holocaust, where millions of people just went along with oppressive and inhumane policies. These examples truly show how dangerous it can be to blindly follow the crowd without questioning it. So how do we escape from the cycle? How do we live a life true to ourselves? The key is to acknowledge that your values are worth protecting. They're shaped by your unique experiences, ambitions, and sense of morality. So by acknowledging them, you are in a sense acknowledging yourself, acknowledging your own identity. One way to do this is through critical thinking. Before you agree with the majority, think to yourself, do I really believe in this? Speaking publicly, speaking confidently is another thing. It's less about rejecting society, but more about respecting yourself. And finally, remember to find a community that supports you, that values diverse thought, people who encourage you to be your true self. Living authentically isn't always easy. It obviously comes with many challenges, but that's the key to finding a purpose in life and living an authentic one. I want to challenge you to embrace your individuality. The next time you're faced with a choice, think to yourself, do I really believe in this, or am I doing this because everybody else is? Don't be afraid to speak up, because you might just inspire others to do the same. First, remember the power of individual thought. True progress comes from those who dare to think differently. Second, remember the risks of blindly following the crowd. Conformity might just lead to tragic consequences. And third, remember that your values matter. Embrace your authenticity and live a life true to yourself. This world doesn't need more followers. It needs more thinkers, leaders, people like you. So don't just follow the crowd. Be the voice that stands out and sparks change. Thank you.